What's up, guys? Steve here. Welcome back to my page where we're going over Turo. Is it worth it? Is it worth it for you to have a couple cars, a whole fleet, rent off them, whatever? Just kind of going over Turo in general and the rideshare programs that are out there. If you're new to my channel, make sure you like, subscribe, do all that stuff down here, and let's get right into it. So today I'm going to go over basically the 3 cars that I have in my platform, and then if you stick around to the end, I'll give you a kind of bonus of what's going on at the end of the month. We basically have 3 more days left of April, so I'm kind of giving you an idea of what's going on with all my cars. They are booked till the end, and unless something drastically changes, this will be pretty accurate with what's going on. So let's get right into it, and I'll drop down in here, give you guys a full view of actually what's going on here. Alright, so now that we're in here, we'll get down right into the nitty gritty. So, this one right here is a listing that it's just kind of, I was testing the waters to see if the car was actually good enough. But this will be a little bit difficult because it won't show what's actually booked on throughout the days here like it normally does on the app. So I'll tell you right now, my Honda Civic booked 24 days of the month, which is awesome. I'll have to take a screenshot of all the dark blues of when it was actually booked, but that tells you how well it did for the month of April. 24 days out of 30. Not too bad. Oh, that's just the performance ratings, my reviews. I got reviews. Oh, there's earnings. Can't get to that yet. Just kidding. I don't really care. So now we get to our Ford Focus. Back to the cars. My Ford Focus, and of course it only shows the last few days. So we're right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're in the 27th. And this shows what it's actually booking for right now. And I will tell you that right here in Phoenix, we are actually kind of at a lower point as far as bookings. Let's face it, everybody wants to go to California, they want to go to Florida, they want to go all over the place, somewhere other than here where it's going to be 100 degrees here very shortly. And really it's like 120, so whatever. But the average will go with 110. That's for you, Mitch. So getting back into it. The Focus, we were sitting at 27 days booked, 27 days out of the 30. So basically that Focus, I'm telling you right now, that car is just on fire when it comes to all this stuff. Performance, yep, that's all still the same. The reviews are the same because that's going over all the cars, period. So let's go back to all cars. So like I said, the Ford Focus does pretty well. For the most part, it's usually on a 4 to 5 day trip, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Like I had one that was a little over a week long. But it's constantly gone. That Focus is just gone. The Civic itself, let's go back to the Civic. I wish it would actually show the days that it was booked. I'll have to actually do it on the calendar. But that one, I basically had a slot right through the middle of the month that the car was off. So it would be back for like a day and a half and then it would be gone again. So still a good performing car. I have a lot more trips on that car. Or a lot more. It's only 13. But I have more trips on that, a little bit more credibility, so I'm able to do a little bit higher pricing on that, which is huge. The Focus right now, she out there moving. She moving. So the Focus did really well. 27 days out of the 30 booked. Let's see, we'll go back to vehicles. We'll go back to the Kia Forte. So the Kia Forte did really good. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Of course, you just want your cars gone, right? But I will tell you, when you have multiple trips, yes, it is more time, but you're able to get a lot more add-ons. You're able to get delivery fees, cleaning fees, fuel fees, late fees, all these other charges that'll help kind of boost your revenue. The nice thing about the Forte being gone all month is, let's just face it, it's gone, and I don't have to worry about it. I haven't heard from the renter, haven't really checked on him. I know it's a legit car. I'm not too worried about it. I will pick that up here within the next day or so. And honestly, I'll keep you guys posted. I have a feeling I have way under miles than what I allowed for that car. So that's probably a good thing. It's an elderly couple that came out here. They're visiting, and I just don't see them using it. They might travel up to the Grand Canyon once or down to Tucson, but you know, for the most part, it's not like they're just taking that car and taking it off. I know there's been a lot of horror stories with people renting cars for long times, long periods, but I don't think this will happen. I could be wrong. We'll see what happens in the next couple days. So I will say with the Forte, that thing has been gone for 27 days. So right now, the The Forte and the Focus are right on page, right on track for the same amount of rentals or same amount of days booked. I will say that the Focus has caused me a lot more work for sure, because the Forte GT, that thing was on 2 bookings for the whole month. Actually, I'll have a third right at the very end. And just the sheer manpower that I'm having to do with that, like, or man hours, however you want to put it, the Forte is hands down most profitable so far. Alright guys, so let's get right into it. The Ford Focus is making $773 this month. Sadly, this $188 is coming in at the end of the month, so we're not going to see anything really. We can't take that into consideration, even though the trip ends on the 30th of April. But it pays out in May. So when we close out the books, it's going to be $773 for the month of April for the Ford Focus. Which, like I said, it had quite a few trips. Not mad at it at all. I'm pretty happy with this payout. And honestly, these will probably change a little bit too, because I have I have one on the Civic that's at the end of the month that we can show. So jumping right into the Civic, for April, I have $796 that the car has made, with $135 upcoming. And honestly, this $135 will probably get paid out in May, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. So that gives you an idea. It looks like between the Focus and the Civic, it's kind of goofy. So they're both right in pretty close with each other. You go back to the Focus, if you were to take that $773 and the $188, now you're looking at $961 for the month. Sadly, that pays out at the end of the month and actually rolls into May, so that kind of, it throws everything off a little bit, but regardless, you still got cash flow coming in. So just going off the raw numbers of how Turo pays it out. There's $773 for the Focus. The Civic, we are looking at $931. The Forte, let's get into that. So there's a reimbursement that was for a fuel surcharge, nothing really too major. I will get into a video later on about how this Forte actually did the first month, like legit. Having it on the platform for the first month, we have $499 that's been paid out so far, another $416 coming in, which will bring us to a grand total of $915 for the month of April. And then if I want to tack on this $38, that'll be on there too, but that's a reimbursement. So I'm just going based off of the car and earnings. And once again, in May, this will be a payout for the trip that ends. Actually, I think that trip actually does end, the 4th day of May. So right before Cinco de Mayo. So that kind of gives you an idea of how everything's moving here. But what I did tell you, like I said, we're going to go back into what I got for you, the little surprise. So we go back to all vehicles. I just added this Mazda 6 right here. And I listed it on this day, Friday the 23rd. I ended up originally booking it on the 24th. They pushed it back a day, and like I said, I don't know why. I wish they would show days it's been booked like they do on the app. But they ended up picking up the car on the 25th. It'll be back the 28th. So, boom, $84. A whopping $84. But that's the last week of the month. I'm pretty happy with it. It booked pretty quickly. And this one's actually booked right out of my house. I don't have to do any kind of delivery fees, anything like that. I can do airports, but I'm getting to the point where, obviously, you see I have 4 cars, potentially a 5th, if not a 6th coming in. So me doing deliveries from where I'm at, it's only a short 8-mile drive, but with traffic and all that, it turns into at least a 30-minute drive based on time, and then doing the deliveries and then Uber back. So I got to figure out that. And let's face it, it's a smaller airport. The chances of having 3 or 4 of those cars being booked at the same time is pretty likely, especially the more I grow, the more the cars will be available at the same times. So me trying to get these cars to the airport right off the bat is going to be a little bit tricky. All right, so there you go. I gave you guys basically a breakdown of which cars seem to do the best. So far, it looks like the Civic is still outperforming. I will say that has a lot to do with the fact that the algorithm has already picked it up. 5-star rating, I'm dependable, reliable, yada, yada, yada. So they know that car is going to do well. And with that, I'm able to do a little bit higher pricing on the Civic. So far, it's treated us pretty well. But I will tell you that basically all 3 of these cars are just right there, right on point.
Once again, the long trips are great because you don't have to worry about as much manpower and time into it, but it does kind of pull from your earnings a little bit. Let's just face it though, at some point, it's just all free cash flow. Me personally, I would love to just see every car on a month-long trip every month. That way I don't even have to mess with it. But, you know, in a perfect world, right? So that's basically what I got going on. Hopefully you guys got some use out of this. I have other videos on how to pick the right cars for your market, so go ahead and check those ones out there. Just go through all those. I'll try and have it pop up here and give you guys an idea of how to get to it. But there's so many different aspects, so many different ways you can go about this. So just once again, figure out what's working for you guys. This is what's working for me right now. I will tell you that I do not have farther bookings like a lot of other hosts do. I'll be changing up some of the settings on my cars, especially the more I get. I'll make sure that I have some that are just constantly booked out, and then I'll also have cars that are just sitting there kind of waiting for that last minute booking. Because let's face it, right now in the rental industry, it's ridiculous. In-laws actually just this last weekend got stuck in Florida. They had a car that was already booked through one of the other companies. I won't even say which one it was, but they had a car booked. They show up, no one was there, no cars are there. 45-minute Uber to where they were staying, and then next day they still couldn't get a car. So hopefully one of the hosts out there was able to take care of them. I'm not sure what they ended up doing there at the time of this recording, but it's basically there you go. That's why I keep the cars the way I do. So hopefully you find out what works for you guys. Like I said, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And I will keep getting more and more information out to you guys to make this stuff run as smoothly as possible and figure out which cars work best for your fleets in your area. So stay tuned, y'all. We'll catch you guys on the next one and keep grinding. Later.